Welcome back to your Center of Social, Economics and Political Analysis. A little bit of a recap to our previous video. It has emerged that actually the 15th of March 1983 is when the first bullet was shot in Wankai County of today by James Lia Deudang. We had mentioned earlier that the first bullet was shot in 1982. That one remains correct. But then, because the Battalion 105 was also stationed in Unity State at the time, and in Bor, then the reason why people say, or the SPLM chose 16th of May 1983, is because that was the headquarters of the Battalion 105 was in Bor. This does not remove facts that the first bullet was in Unity State. So why was this change? Could it be to suit those who are in power? Because as we know that history is always written by those who are in power. And if they are honest people, they will not change facts. They will leave them as they are. If they are dishonest people, to suit their whims and their desires, they may be tempted to tell history. Unless those who are there, as we are lucky today, we could get sources from people who are there and know what has really happened from first-hand information. So what we are giving you here is to record the history of South Sudan so that we do not lose it. Thank you. Now I'll come to something that is recent and that is just happening now, the recent things that we do not need to be told by anybody. We do not need to do any research. In Africa, there is a saying that goes that when two elephants fight, it is only the grass that gets destroyed. There is an interesting situation or scenario that is going on in South Sudan now. The two eyes of the SPLM are at wrangles again, or should I say it's loggerheads. I'll tell you that there has been a pretext that the fighting that was initiated in Nasser, that ended up killing so many people by the government, was done to weed out the SPLM. And also the bombardments that has then continued throughout the rural areas, in Nasser, in Longchuk, in Jekmir, in Akobo, and in Pangak, even as we talk, it continues, that are done to weed out the SPLM. This is not the entire truth. That one we have to separate it. Because you cannot go kill children, babies, women, elderly people, destroy people and chase people away from their homes in the name of a party that is with you in Juba, that you have signed a peace agreement with. That one is unacceptable, and that's not true. We want to take it and we want to tell our people that this is not true. This was a means of trying to destroy a certain community, chase them away from the land and ensure that they do not live in peace, or to cause fear or make them feel intimidated. Some people even say that, that the bombardments are happening because one general was killed there, General Major. This also is not true, because General Major should have been replaced. It would never have been an answer. A request has been done several times to the government to remove the forces that were in Nasser, but they kept the general there. Out of his will, he was not willing to stay there. He should go to the army barracks as the general. His job was done there. The people were living peacefully, doing their own things. But the soldiers who were there were terrorizing the people. And the government refused to heed to that plea of removing him or even bringing a unified force. So that was all politically motivated. There is nothing to do with the SPLM-IO. This we have to make it very clear. But another interesting scenario now, which has made things even more interesting, is the political part, which is what they should have done a long time ago, instead of bombing children and women. So the SPLM is divided into two sections or factions, as we know now, or even to several others that we do not know. But we know of the SPLM-I in government and the SPLM in opposition. These SPLMs with two eyes. The two eyes now are at wrangles in Juba. The SPLM-IO, since the arrest of Dr. Remachar, has been strangled, so to say, by the SPLM-IG. They arrested most of their political groups or leaders, and they released one man called Parkul through whatever deal that they might have made. And Parkul came and said that I'm the acting to Dr. Remachar, first vice president, to Dr. Remachar who was arrested. But how could this be the case while he was not even the deputy vice chair when Dr. Remachar was arrested? So this is seen by many people as not right within the SPLM-IO quarters. So Nathaniel Yet is seen as the right person, although he is outside the country. So Parkul, through whatever means, made something that many see as a coup or whatever it is, and installed himself, or he is installed maybe by the SPLM-IG. People say that he was coerced to do so. So this is a political game. This is played by SPLM-IG to destroy the SPLM-IO, which I would say is a smart move by them. And if they could manage to threaten Parkul, to disrupt SPLM-IO from it progressing well and good. That is up to SPLM-IO to shake their wings and come out from the mess. So yesterday, our team of political bureau of yesterday, and that is the 19th of May, a team of the political bureau of SPLM-IO, 18 of them, came out and said that they do not recognize Parkul, just like it was done before by Nathaniel Oyet, who is outside the country. And they wrote a letter citing that this man cannot be trusted. We do not know the details why they came out. There were a lot of rumors that Dr. Remachar could be arraigned in court. And that was the rumor to preempt this move, so that it is known that he still has his powers and immunity, and that he cannot just be taken to court. That's why this group came out. But there is also the school of thought that want to say that, okay, Parkul could have been, Dr. Remachar could have been stripped of his powers, and Parkul to be given the powers. So it's a big wrangle. The SPLM-IG working so hard to destroy the SPLM-IO. And so when you look at this, today, the 20th of May, Parkul comes out and says, I, Parkul, I am suspending all those 18 political bureau members and others, giving a list of 29 members of the SPLM-IO, that he has removed them from power, or he has suspended them from the SPLM-IO for acting contrary to the constitution of the SPLM-IO. So this has given us a different dynamics of politics, because there's a lot of now wrangles in this camp of the SPLM-IO. Not surprising, when we go to the other side of the SPLM-IG, and we say that now the eyes, it is the eyes that are fighting. These are the elephants. The SPLM-IG, President Salva Kiir Mayardit, give a decree today on the 20th that removes the first deputy chairman, Professor Dr. Wanihiga, and removes the second deputy chairman, Daniel Aweta, and also remove Wanihiga as Secretary General of the SPLM IG, a position he was just put not long ago, maybe a month or so ago. So what is happening? Bol Mel, the son-in-law of Salva Kiir Mayardit, is brought in as the first deputy chairman of the SPLM IG. In this case, if anything, for the hierarchy of the SPLM IG, or the SPLM party in general, whether it's removing all the eyes, that if anything happens today to President Salva Kiir Mayardit, so Dr. Bol Mel become automatically the acting president or the president. Smart politics, isn't it? Is it an agreed policy by the SPLM generally that the liberators now pave way to the younger generation? And is that younger generation, Bol Mel, the better choice to run the country? This we wait to see. It is an interesting scenario because analysts see that this could lead the country either to a complete full-blown war or complete peace, depending on how these sides go. Another group or another side of analysis sees Taban Ngai, who may have perceived himself to be part of the people appointed today, perhaps as the deputy, as the second deputy to the SPLM, does not see himself anywhere. What does this mean for Taban Ngai and his camp in terms of politics of South Sudan today? Remember, he's an heavyweight in the camp of politics. So the way the political dust will play out in the next few days or weeks shall tell us which direction South Sudan will take. As we go forward, we see the oil does not flow no longer. So it also means that Uganda is going to be pulling out, leaving South Sudan needs to sort out their issues. It is seen that there's a likelihood that there will be a compromise. In fact, there have been some rumors, or people bringing up, that Salva Kiir Mayardit is mentioning that Dr. Riek Machar could be released and become the president after him, because he trusts him as the only man who can lead South Sudan, and South Sudan will be safer with him. This communication has excited a lot of SPLM fans and followers. But this is said to be just maybe a trick to make them happy while the real meat is being cooked. And the meat will be eaten when they are still celebrating, something that is called an illusion. There is also another school that says that since the general public does not trust, especially even from the Dinka community, does not trust Benjamin Bol Mel, that Simon Kunpoit could become the next president of South Sudan. Simon Kunpoit has been made the third high-ranked man in the SPLM IG or SPLM. Why is this the case? Simon Kunpoit, in the burial of one of the businessmen, Matairwa, spoke so strongly against the things that are happening in South Sudan right now, especially because his people of Nasser were bombed mercilessly without any reason. And so he was going to talk on the 40th day celebration of this businessman, Perez. But now, before this has happened, he has been given this position. Why? This is a question that many people are asking. Is it to shut him down because he is becoming radical and is likely to radicalize the other newer politicians who are in the SPLM IG, and now he has to be shut down so that things can cool down, because most likely, because he's now found himself with a job and he was jobless before, that he will not now shut his mouth, will not speak anymore. Could this be the case? We'll wait and see. Will he speak on the 40-day prayer, even with this position? Others say that when he speaks, then he will be removed. Could this be true? We are yet to see. Ladies and gentlemen, it is interesting because the succession plan or power to South Sudan politics has just begun. And the first choice of President Salva Kiir Mayardit seems to be Benjamin Bolmer, his son-in-law. These are the made veterans of the SPLM, and many South Sudanese are not happy about this because they seem to know him as somebody coming from nowhere, jumping everybody else on the queue or the line of the SPLM. So, as you have seen, ladies and gentlemen, the SPLM has been the maze of South Sudan politics. Because they think they are the only people who can lead the country, they want to make themselves even to come online. So this put away even young generation, the younger generations, who are highly educated, who have the wits and the merits to run the country affairs, whether through the parastatals they can work in and really run the institutions through perfection, are being blocked by a group of wolves that call themselves the owners of the land, or the SPLM. So if you are not part of the Red Party or the Red Army or the Blue Army, and now that the SPLM is evolving into different groups, where do you then find yourself? The answer is South Sudanese must forge a way forward, and a new dispensation must be arrived at to ensure that the country is saved. Otherwise, if this is not done, then everybody will be left running around. The rest will be God to save everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, let us watch this space. Let us watch this space and the speed in which things are traveling across Juba and in South Sudan in general, because we do not know what will happen next. The constitution, the transitional constitution does not allow Salva Kiir Mayardit to decree himself out and decree in ball mill. It's not possible. That period alone does not allow. Will ball mill and his group run a soft coup, a so-called soft coup on General Salva Kiir Mayardit? Or will Salva just say that I'm going out for medication as we hear and let ball mill run the rest should the medication not go through? Ladies and gentlemen, South Sudan is getting hotter. This is now real politics. But who is likely to suffer if these elephants do not find an amicable solution? These are the generations of South Sudan, the women, the men, the young men, and the children who should be enjoying services of the SPLM instead of the wrangles of the SPLM. Thank you very much.